forced to vote. And
no, I feel your frustration. So go ahead. I'll add in my 2 cents.
I'm going to say this with the most humble words possible that I can say on behalf of me and RBN, on behalf of Kit and Heartland's Media. I want to say this. We told y'all so. I'm going to say it again. Are you listening? We told y'all so. What did we say? If you force a vote, you can get concessions on things that you would like on the House. And what did we say? What did we say? If y'all do it, then it will happen. Guess what? Y'all said, oh, no, we can't do it. We can't force the vote, because if we force the vote, then we're actually going to risk Medicare for all. We're going to risk the concessions for everything. Guess what? Then the Republicans, the Freedom Caucus, were like, all right, bet, we got you. All right, we're going to force a vote. Next thing you know, they force a vote. 15 rounds. 15 rounds. Ding, ding, ding. It is between Gates and McCarthy. Gates is like, I'm going to talk my shit. Look, McCarthy is this, McCarthy is that, McCarthy is that. Guess what? They did. Then they were like, then people like Ryan Grimm, sorry, but I got to name names. Ryan Grimm was like, this isn't going to get much media attention. It got media attention. Ryan Grimm, you are literally the media. And guess what? It got your attention. It got everybody else's attention. It got Fox's attention. It got MSNBC's attention. It got CNN's attention. It got New York Times, Washington Post. They got all their attention. Guess what? Everybody was looking. Oh, snap. What is the House Freedom Caucus going to do? And then guess what? They got concessions. Gonna keep on telling my concessions. If I gotta tell it, then gotta tell it all. Guess what? They got him.
Hey, man, I had to dance along too. Hey, you didn't tell me there's gonna be a music number. Hell yeah. Well, here's the thing. Not only did we tell them so, but here's how I know that AOC is a real professional liar or doesn't really. No, I'm going to say all of the above. A good professional liar really doesn't know what she's talking about, or knows what she's talking about, but is trying to paint a different picture. So in that video where AOC was explaining about force of vote, now that video came out on January 6th, and Case Study QB posted a 7-minute video on his Twitter page. Case Study QB is still being censored by Twitter, unfortunately. So please, everyone, support Case Study QB. Again, he's sitting through corporate media. I don't know how he does it. I'm surprised he doesn't have an ulcer or, brain aneurysm yet. But there you go. But that's besides the point. AOC, in that 7-minute video, even Sabrina and Jimmy Dore broke it down too. But in that 7-minute video, I'm just going to give you guys a short rundown. She is quick to deflect, and she paints a picture of the reason why the Democrats don't want to do this is because, hey, you got to work with your caucus. We got to work together. So she's painting this whole picture of, yay, team, we're all friends, and you don't want to have a bad reputation in Congress. Listen, the Freedom Caucus doesn't give a crap about its reputation, and I encourage everyone to check out the show that I host on Monday with Farron. She explains in detail about these congressional representatives. These politicians don't care about their reputation. They're thinking about their careers 2 years down the road, 4 years down the road, 8 years down the road. They don't care about their reputation. They're fine with being given the middle finger. They're not friends with each other. They're all opportunists. And the thing is, in that 7-minute video, then AOC says, look, if we just did a force to vote, we got to do policies. And she's saying all what the Freedom Caucus was going after was committee seats, which is something you need to get in order to make sure you get leverage, committee seats, positions of power, AOC, which is something you and the 15 congressmen and men and women who are on the force of vote petition could have done. In theory, they could have formed a larger voting bloc to make Nancy Pelosi's life a living hell. But maybe also AOC, again in that video, was quick to say, well, independent media channels for the algorithm on YouTube want to vilify. So she's going after Jimmy Dore. She didn't say his name, But she said YouTubers who do independent media might want to do some negative things on the squad because it's good for the YouTube algorithm. Let me let you all in a little secret. Hold on. Folks, there's a whole system in place that's designed to keep independent media censored. The algorithm is not designed for us. It's not designed for it. I had to do my own Kid Cabello draw in right there. I know, Dave, this is your show, so there you go. I mean, I'm just going to do that just once. But there's a system in place. There's so much censorship that's happening to independent media. It's not about the algorithm, but we are shining a light and calling out and being critical of the Democrats because AOC, you said to yourself, you got to make these politicians uncomfortable. But, anytime AOC is being made uncomfortable, look what she said to Jose Vega and the other activists when they called her out. She said, hey, you guys are being rude. You're being mean. Or when confronted about force to vote, she says, this is violence. Okay. She doesn't know what she's talking about. And she gives a word salad answer about force to vote. Force to vote does work. And those Freedom Caucus members got what they wanted. They won. They got what they wanted.
They won. Look, look, I showed it before. I'll say it again. Ilhan Omar says, okay, so this person says, we'll be able to push them left. Yeah, okay. Then Ilhan says, yes, we can. With a slim Dem majority in the next Congress, anything can be possible. It can literally take 5 courageous progressive members to get concessions on progressive policies. What that is. And I said, so you can force the vote. So, and a lot of time, and here's the crazy part. You have people like Anna Kasparian that are misrepresenting what force to vote actually is, right? They misrepresent and say, well, let's just say that you did get Nancy Pelosi to agree to a vote on Medicare for all. It's going to fail anyway. Here's the thing. We're counting on it. Do they not see the strategy? I've said it before. Look, I think let me read this. Hang on. Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead, Kit.
Because okay, so here's my theory on why also there was a lot of pushback. Because again, sometimes people just don't read the fine print or understand something that's being presented to them.
They don't read terms and conditions.
No, they don't. And so let's talk about force of vote. Nowhere in there, and I interviewed Jimmy Dore on this too, and Farron from Farron Bounce was quick to explain this too. Okay. We were not asking the squad to vote present or not participate. No, we were telling them to vote no to withhold their vote. And I think Cenk and everyone else was assuming or was trying to misrepresent that, if the squad votes no, then McCarthy will become speaker. That's not how it works. The party was the most, so obviously the party, there won't be a speaker until said speaker of one of the 2 parties that's represented wins. And the only way the opposing party that doesn't have the majority will get speakership is if enough of the opposing party is brain dead enough to vote present. When you vote present, you are dismissing your entire vote altogether, and it helps your rival side to get more votes for them. So if enough Republicans, let's say during this for speakership, just decide to vote present, right? And Hakeem Jeffries got all of his party around him, theoretically, Hakeem Jeffries could become speaker. What we were saying for the squad is to vote no, withhold it. Do what we saw with what the Freedom Caucus did with the 15 rounds that McCarthy had to go through. That's what we were asking for. That's the plan. And I don't think Cenk, Sam, or Anna, or David Pakman, or Ryan Grimm really understood overall what we were saying. And they were quick to say, by voting no, which again is a lie, voting no will help McCarthy. Well, McCarthy's Speaker of the House, and there were plenty of times Republicans were voting no, and Hakeem Jeffries during those 14 times did not get the all majority because Republicans did not vote present. That's what I want to explain again. So there you go.
They understood. They didn't want you to know, you to understand. That's my. I mean, I'm coming to that conclusion. Here's what I said. I said forced to vote is a setup for the corporate Dems and fake progressives to be themselves. Then use that public revelation to primary the incumbents in order to move the party leftward on popular policies for the workers and poor. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I likened it to this. If, let's say, I'm in front of a guy and his name is Jerry, just using a random person's name.
Use my colleague's name.
Oh, sorry. I'll use a different name.
Johnny.
Just Johnny.
There you go. Johnny's a regular.
All right. So Johnny is sitting in front of me, and I'm having an interview with him, just like I'm talking to you. And I go to Johnny and I say, so Johnny, how many years have you been beating your wife? Either way, Johnny answers, he's screwed. Why? Because if Johnny says, I don't beat my wife, then guess what? You can go, oh, he denies it. Of course he denies it. If he says yes, then he's just admitted to beating his wife. Either way he goes, he is screwed. Right? With that, forced to vote puts them in a position to either vote for it and go against the Democratic Party, or they don't and they go against the people. If I see a camouflage snake, but you can't see it, what is the best way for you to see it? It's to make the snake move. I grab a mouse that is called forced to vote. Guess what? You force that vote, that snake is going to strike, and then you will see it, even though it was camouflage, because now there's movement.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the problem with some people are not understanding. And then once you see the snake for what it is, because we trust the snake to be what it is, we trust the snake to act in the way that a snake always acts. And so when that happens, then you can go, see, there's a snake. Now you get to kill it. You get to get rid of it.
Well, see,
and so then, sorry, go ahead.
Well, the problem, again, now with the Democrats, though, and what we saw with forced to vote, and especially Ryan Grimm asking Ro Khan about forced to vote, they will not, if the Democrats do get majority seats in 2024, I don't see them at all doing anything except falling in line and trying to make themselves look morally superior to the Republicans by not doing forced to vote. They will just sign up and go ahead and rally around behind Hakeem Jeffries to be speaker.
Yeah.
They did it so many times during the during the other 14 or 15 times when McCarthy was running for a speakership. Not once did the Democrats waver. Not once did the Democrats break rank. They were all behind Hakeem Jeffries, and everyone pretend to be surprised when AOC is saying, we're going to have Hakeem Jeffries be Speaker of the House.
Yeah. So in regards to that, yeah, I don't trust them to ever actually do or fight. And the thing is that they don't actually want to. Really, it was a litmus test. This forced to vote thing was a litmus test to the Democrat Party, especially to the Progressive Caucus. And they failed the litmus test. The fact that they actually won't listen to us and actually force a vote just shows their fealty to the Democratic Party. And because of that, this actually solidifies the resolve of people like myself that say, you know what? Leave the Democratic Party. They're not working for you at all. They don't want to work for you, and they will never work for you. They are just like the Republicans. The only difference is the Republicans have at least a little bit more intestinal fortitude in order to willingly do it because they're allowed to do it. They're allowed to move further to the right because that's the way our government works. Anything you have to fight to move further to the right, you're allowed to do it. But anything when it comes to moving further left or moving further for the people, you're not allowed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what's being shown to us day in and day out. And so to the people who say, well, we don't have any other choices, that's propaganda.
And by the way, how many times right now is healthcare being talked about right now in this Congress? How many? And I know that Ro Khanna recently, he's passing out a bill that has no chance at all of passing in this current House. Mm-hmm. It's all just word games for these politicians. And what should concern a lot of your viewers, and mine included, and everyone involved in independent media, is that the squad is there to make people feel that they are listening. Now, the thing is the thing is though, let's talk about action right now. Right now, what is being done to really continue on the fight for women's reproductive rights? All right, because Roe v. Wade died under the Biden-Harris administration. The kids are still in cages. We have cities, not only just Chicago and Flint, Michigan, but so many cities and towns all across America that are suffering from lacking of safe, clean drinking water because either there's lead or other dangerous contaminants in it. We have, hey, look, not to be petty here, but I'm just going to sound just like a little bit of a punk here in 3, 2, 1. I want that Ukraine money. How come Ukraine is able to get all this money? Where's our bailout? I mean, that is another thing we have to talk about, and how the Democrats have been all on board. All the Democrats have been all on board for continuous war spending for a conflict that, if it escalates further, heaven forbid, and it shouldn't be going on one more day, then we're looking at mushroom clouds in the sky and the overall extinction of the human species. The survivors will envy the dead. But yet we have money to waste into that. That should really also piss off a lot of Americans. That we have a homelessness crisis happening here. We have a lack of health care in this country, lack of economic opportunities, educational opportunities, and I have to say to people, I'm really concerned about what the next generation has to deal with, and I only can offer some minor solutions or maybe suggestions for young people who are going to be growing up in this neoliberal nightmare. And that is, if you're a young person or you know a young person that's going to college or that might want to go to college, advise them not to go to college here in America. Tell them to wait and save up to go overseas. 2, put them into an apprenticeship program or a trade school or go to community college. But we have to, if we want to break a system, let's start with the for-profit education system that we have here, and that is making sure that enough young people do not go to college here in America, because you'll be riddled with student debt. If you want to go to college, that's fine. Go to college overseas where it's free or affordable. That's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, really, you're basically spending money for your tickets and maybe room and board, but that's probably about it. Yeah. And then, that's all you have to do. That's way cheaper than being $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 in student loan debt. Or if you want to, you have a different path you would like to go, vocational, vocational schools or technical schools education is also a great route to go if you don't want to do that. I am a product of a vocational technical education. I actually did commercial foods and culinary arts training in technical school.
Oh, culinary arts? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And
we got to put you in Hell's Kitchen, man. You got to win that competition.
Yeah, I'm not winning. Not against those bougie folks, but yeah, it's like, okay, make me a grilled cheese. All right, well, give me some sourdough bread, some butter, and some cheddar, and boom, there you go. What else do you want? It's a grilled cheese. I'm not going to put, like, you guys want me to put, it with a tomato compote reduction with
some truffles, with
truffle oil, and and do all that. Like, no. I'll put some bacon pieces in it. What?
Brilliant. Watch you actually win the championship.
I'm like, simplicity is best. We're number 1. Wu-Tang forever. yeah, I mean, my thing though is when it comes to a lot of what we're seeing now, and you were talking about solutions. Like for instance, Roger Meadows is in chat and he brings up a lot of solutions. I'm very grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to air those, on here as much as I possibly can. A lot of times people are they're put off, unfortunately, by what they think is antithetical for us to actually get true liberation for either as Black liberation, poor liberation, disabled liberation, uh, what have you. Just to actually have a more egalitarian society.
Mm-hmm.
And we're literally in the work of deprogramming people from that. Have you looked into the Green Party? Have you looked into Socialist Alternative? Have you looked into PSL?
Mm-hmm.
Have you looked into independent candidates? If you're not going that route, have you looked into different organizations that are doing work in your city, in your county, in your state in order to help people along? You have people like RBN has people like, we're trying to develop chapters. You have Rome that does Tour for the Poor. You have this young lady who is out in Los Angeles who's actually helping by giving poor people haircuts and feeding them, on the streets. You have so many different people that are doing the work and also decolonizing their minds and deprogramming themselves from thinking, oh, if I really want to help the people, I have to go through this one particular party that's combined with the other party. It doesn't make any sense. So I think that, we can talk about, like, for instance, Roger Meadow talks about ballot initiatives. That's another route that goes more the direct democracy route. So there's a lot of different solutions out there. Hell, I had on the rapper Awkward earlier this week. We were talking about defund the police and the 10 demands for justice. There's many different solutions out there to really give us a more equitable and equal type of solution for us to actually have a better society. The thing is that we need to deprogram ourselves from this propaganda that's always being pushed by even some independent voices that they call themselves to be on the left, because the thing is that they're not actually helping us divorce ourselves from that propaganda.
I have to say, I saw a recent video that you guys did at RBN. I think it was Nick and Compton who were talking about it. And that was these larger platforms like TYT, Majority Report, Kyle Kalinske. And, I'm disappointed in the overall path that they have taken due to their lack of understanding of just how corrupt the Democratic Party is. Well, wait, lack of understanding. They know how corrupt it is because they hobnob with them all the time. But the fact that they want to tell everyone, oh, we have to do this. We can't really challenge the system, or don't take the limelight away from us because we're going to be the ones who will sit here and tell you what to do. But their overall tactics and suggestions have always led to, we got to vote more Democrats. We got to somehow reform the Democratic Party. Look, you could have the bear eat you, but you're not going to change the bear inside you. The bear's just going to crap you out. And that's what the Democratic Party is going to do to the progressive movement. Dare I say it, it's already done it already. Yeah. There is no incentive for us to keep on going to the Democratic Party. Now, I do get pushback from quote, quote, liberals and other progressives who say, well, now you're being a full-on Republican. No, I know what to expect from the Republican Party. I can respect their honesty in knowing that they're never going to fight for Medicare for all or any other progressive policy I care about. Now, Republican voters, that's a different question. When you ask the voters a question, about Medicare for all or women's reproductive, most voters are going to be like, well, yeah, this makes sense. UBI makes sense. Student debt forgiveness makes sense. Women's reproductive rights makes sense. Treating people with dignity. Remove the political parties, and for the most part, Americans will do the right thing. I know it's shocking to see that, but we've seen a couple of red states go full on board with protecting a woman's right to choose in a red state. Kentucky was one of them, a solid red state. And I have to say, I was surprised by that. But the citizens voted on that. That was there. So I say to outlets like, Majority Report or TYT or Kyle Kalinske, if you are breaking points, if your overall plan is, we got to be with the Democrats because Orange Boogeyman or Trump or Republicans or Republican lawmakers are bad, well, then why is it that when the Democrats do get the majority, they don't do anything? They don't change anything at all. The Biden-Harris administration maintained a lot of Trump's foreign and domestic policies. Those kids are still in cages. And somebody was kind enough to remind me, too, that it was Rob Reiner who made that tweet when Biden was sworn in. He made a tweet that more or less went, "Hang on, kids, we're coming to get you." And I'm like, really, Rob? Did you get your fancy LA car and go down south of the border and get those kids out the cages? Because those little babies are still in those cages, okay? I mean, come on. I mean, no, he really wrote that, Jay. He wrote down. He made this tweet. I gotta find it. Somebody has it. But it was Rob Reiner said, "Hang on, kids, we're coming to get you." Like, hey, those kids have Twitter. I gotta find that. Rob Reiner. Hang on, kids. Hang on, kids. Maybe I'll find it. Maybe.
Oh my God, Rob Reiner.
Damn it! Seriously? Hang on, kids. Tweet.
Well, look, I put it this way: liberalism is a cult. It is. It just really is. And we, and
God damn it! I can't find it. I thought I could find it. I guess I was wrong.
Yeah.
I know I saw it. I know I saw it because somebody said like, "Hey, it was Rob Reiner who wrote that tweet." I gotta find it now. But
no, it's okay. We don't need to be haunted for the rest of 2023 because of seeing that tweet from Rob Reiner. But I'm at a point right now where whenever they talk about we need to cling with the Democrats, I say to myself, has your life been better when they had full control of the government? And I say, no, it hasn't been better. And this is coming from somebody that's disabled, queer, and black. And no, it hasn't been better. Like, for instance, am I still housing secure? Yes. Do I still have to pay for deductibles even though I'm on Medicare? Yeah. Is there a possibility that the marriage law that was passed by the Supreme Court, could that be overturned just like Roe v. Wade?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It can. Don't be surprised if it doesn't happen. All right, because I could see the Democrats again saying, "Well, unfortunately, we couldn't do anything. The Supreme Court got rid of it, so give us money so we could fundraise off of it."
Mm-hmm. But like, here's the crazy part: people are, and here's the thing I think people need to realize. Just because someone is not for the Democrats doesn't mean that they are a conservative. It does not mean they are a right-winger. It does not mean they're a Republican. The thing is that even by a lot of what I like to call the legacy left, even by their metrics, the Democratic Party, and more specifically the Progressive Caucus, is failing their own litmus test
Mm-hmm.
They are not fighting for these things. What good is the fight if you actually don't fight? You can tell me you're going to fight all day long, but until you actually help me when I'm in the battle, those are just words, man. And they have not shown us on a concrete, tangible, materialistic level that they will actually do for us, like they do for the rich. Like, for instance, who made the Bush tax cuts permanent? It was Obama.
Look, JB, let me be clear here. Look, I got rid of habeas corpus, you know, and look, I had a beer summit, and I led us from 2 wars to 7. Hell, even Black Lives Matter started under my administration, and you know, we got to go look forward. 2008, yes, there was a big crash, but look, there's folks, there's some good people. Now, here, watch me do a stunt, and here's some Flint, Michigan water. Touch the lips right there. Obama out.
Dear God, I'm telling you.
Well, you know, there's something else too that we have to look forward to, unfortunately, and that is, you know, we might be seeing a repeat of 2016, 2020 through 2024. Now, again, Trump is running again, and watch people start losing their critical thinking. They're going to be focusing this entire year preparing us and making us be in fear of what's going to happen with Trump running in the Republican primary. Because, again, I'm going to be surprised if Trump does not attend the primary. He's already said he's running, but if anything derails his campaign, I will be surprised, because he is doing this now, not just being an egomaniac, but also controlling the fact that his movement, MAGA, is slowly starting to slip from his grasp. So you got people like DeSantis and other people that are now carrying that banner that Trump created. And what's going to happen is these same progressive lawmakers and these other larger, quote unquote, independent media outlets will be focusing on the danger of Trump, why we got to vote Democrat. And they're going to once again double down on everything, saying that RBN or Hard Lens Media or Jimmy Dore or any activist or community organizer group that is not invested into helping out the progressive Democrats or reform the Democratic Party, they are Republicans, they are bad, they are the villain. And we have to break away from that narrative, because we're offering constructive, and yes, constructive, clear criticism to these politicians that supposedly say that they are our allies, but they have shown through their inaction, their willingness to not challenge leadership, that they are not going to bring in the change. Now, I know that electoral politics has burnt out a lot of people, but at least we could start building movements and organizations not connected to Washington, D.C., and start supporting ballot initiatives, because that's the only counter and only way in which we are going to survive the madness of a 2024 presidential election cycle. You know, and the thing is, the one thing that still hurts me a little bit is I remember in 2016 when I was telling people, like, hey, I'm not going to vote for Hillary. And number 2, you know, there's a good chance she's going to lose. I lost some good friends, people who I loved, you know, because of my statements. And I remember this one private message I got. It still sucks to this day, but I got over it. This friend sent me a article. I think it was from Raw Story or AP News or NPR, and it was titled "The Rise of White Supremacy and the Ku Klux Klan," you know, in America. And this friend of mine wrote, "Through your inaction and through your indifference, you are supporting this. This is what you support." And I had to message him fast, like, how dare you think me not voting Hillary Clinton makes me a white supremacist or associated with the Ku Klux freaking Klan? What? But see, that's again the problem with a lot of American voters, and that is a lot of people can't see past the BS that the mainstream media has projected upon so many people. And that is, oh, Trump's bad. We got to stop Trump. Democrats good. We got to vote Democrats. If you don't vote Democrat, you're a secret racist. That's the stuff that you get.
I'm gonna make myself abundantly clear with this. Where are we at? 132.26.
Oh my
okay.
goodness.
JB, when you're editing this, I want you to clip this. A message to myself. Voting blue is voting red, and voting red is voting blue. And a lot of people are going to look at me and go, what in the hell are you saying? I meant what I said. If you look at what Joe Biden has been doing, Joe Biden is literally carrying over the same policies that Donald Trump did. Joe Biden is literally Trump 2.0. And I said this a long time ago. By the way, while we're talking, if you're here listening to somebody and they're always talking about a particular podcaster, oh, this podcaster said this, so we can't really follow what this idea is or what this person says, even if what they say may be correct. If they're so focused on the cult of personality, there's two sides to the cult of personality. There is either the haters or the simps. You have two. And when you come out as neither, the simps will hate you and the haters will hate you, because the simps will hate you for not loving the person, and the haters will hate you because you're not hating them enough. And the thing is that we're not focused on the cult of personality. We're actually focused on the big picture. The big picture being capitalism, imperialism, white supremacy. That's what's been damaging us in this country.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't give a
somebody.
I don't give a
Thank
crap.
you.
I don't give a crap about the cult of personality. Okay? The idea of what's going on, that's what I'm focused on. I'm focused on housing. So many people are unhoused. And I'm not just talking about the people on the streets. I'm talking about the people that are sleeping on your couch right now. You who are watching, the people who are sleeping on your couch right now, yes, they're homeless. The people who are actually living in a place where they are not living, if they don't have a choice to be by themselves, if they don't have that choice to be with other people, then guess what? They're also homeless.
Agreed.
The people who are living in neighborhoods where they don't have access to actual healthy food, so they have to settle for unhealthy choices. We're talking about the people who are literally coming to our border as refugees because of the sanctions our country's doing and making their countries bad. The thing is that if you live someplace and you got it good, you ain't going nowhere. But why are they coming here? Because the United States and their foreign policy is making it horrible for them to stay in their country. So they have to come to this. I can't cuss because, well, the YouTube algorithm now doesn't allow us to do that.
Well, actually, in the first 20 seconds or first 2 minutes, you are in a danger zone, but I think you're okay to then do it afterwards. But but I've heard down the grapevine that YouTube is going to be putting down more draconian laws pretty soon. Again, take it with a grain of salt because I haven't got full confirmation yet from some people I've talked to.
I read a little bit of it, but this shithole, right? The thing is that they're coming here and then they still get discriminated against because they dare to seek asylum. And then here's the crazy part. The Democrats and Republicans are doing the exact same thing. There's still kids on the border. That's a Democrat. The kids in cages, those cages were built by a Democrat. It was carried over by Trump. The crime bill made by a Democrat. The bankruptcy bill, Democrat. The Patriot Act was authored by a Democrat. Guess what? It is all bad between both parties. So the thing is that we need to stop with the cult of personality BS and start looking for the solutions, right? Now, those of us at RBN, I know Sabi does it. I know you guys do it. I do it. You have people like Second Thought, Midwestern Marks. You have people at MCSC. They talk about solutions, right? They don't just report on the problems. They also bring up solutions too. So guess what? We're the ones who are talking about it. And then we're saying, but at the same time, we're saying leave the party that doesn't give you any solutions. That's not actually helping you because they have a track record of not doing it. If it look, a lot of times people say if it ain't broken, don't fix it. But if it's broken and you try to fix it many times, then guess what? It's time to throw it out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I got to say.
What I want to let everyone know is it's easy to get discouraged, and it's easy for people to want to throw the towel in. And I know right now it's so many of us are burnt out by it. But look at how many times we've been proven correct. And I'll never forget what this one video, and it should bring a smile to everyone's face. You and Rome were in a video, and you asked, "Hey, where's your general strike at?" Calling out everyone that was against it. So all those people that were against the general strike, the March for Medicare for All, forced the vote, they can't really do anything. All what they can do is right now use the platform right now that somewhat favors them, and of course corporate media too, and they could wag their finger, but when push comes to shove, they can't really deliver on anything.
No.
When it's time for Hassan or Jank or Kyle or Sam or Anna to step up, they're never going to do it. They're not going to put themselves on the front line. I mean, never forget, you see Anna going out there to Flint, Michigan, or going on the front lines to cover a protest? No, she's not going to do that. Will Fat Tony ever do that? No, because he's going to be crying about the plane, So no, I mean, Cenk Uygur. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be that mean. And as for Sam Cedar, look, I feel sorry for the guy. The guy needs to get new prescription glasses. He needs to read his contract before he starts selling fake Japanese knives.